Naomi, episode 7. I am not a used car salesman, but I am your daddy. It's your boy Icon with some DC TV. Oh man, they just debunked something I wanted really bad to happen on this show. But we'll get right into this and discuss a little Naomi. So in our last episode, Naomi and Zombadu, they I can't get this guy's name. They escaped from Star Labs because apparently on this Earth, Star Labs is evil, and the woman who's in charge of Star Labs, she was basically trying to harness Naomi's power so she can open up portals to many different dimensions. Zumbadu, he broke into Star Labs to try to rescue her. He rescued her, and then he starts carrying her out. So when the two of them are trying to escape from Star Labs, they're running through the hallways, through the corridors. Naomi starts asking questions. She's just like, "Oh, what are you doing? I thought you hated me. Why are you helping me?" And then he was just like, "I'm not your enemy, Naomi, but he's like, but we gotta go." And then she was just like, "Why should I believe you? Why should I trust you?" And then she's like, "I don't know anything about you." And she's like, "I don't know any information about where you come from." He was like, "Cause you ain't ready." And then, like, it's just very weird. Like, he talks that way because he got to a point where he was just like, and I feel like in that moment he knew he was going to sacrifice himself because he was just like, you know what? He's like, "I ain't always going to be here, to protect you. So I might as well share the information with you now." So he used his power to give her like telepathic projection where she can be projected into his memories and she can see and feel everything that he sees and feels in his own memories. So he starts taking her through the memories of what he went through when they were on their Earth 29. And she was surprised because she was like, "Oh my God, that's where I'm from. That's my planet." And then she sees like a younger Zabadu when before he became who the person he is now. And he was very different because when he was on his Earth, he was all just like, "Yeah, man, what's really good? What's going on? We ready to do this or what?" And then like on this Earth now, he's all like, "Yeah, so I sell used cars and I stalk teenage girls." And I'm just like, I understand the power shift and everything, but when did the shift in how you talk started? Like how did that start? But it shows him like at a bar or whatever, and he's at a bar now. And this whole time, I'm under the impression that Zumbadu's her daddy. I'm just like, yo, that's Naomi daddy. But then they show us a scene where he was at the bar, and then he met this woman, this black woman at the bar. The two of them started dancing. They started getting it on. He put his hand around her. They were just about to kiss, and then he stopped the projection. He was like, "Hold on, you don't need to see all that." and then and at that moment, I was just like, "Oh snap! That's your mom. Like that's her mom. Like he's your dad. This is how he met your mom. And at some point, they're gonna get superpowers and they're gonna birth you. That's the direction that I thought this whole thing was going." But then they show this. Then they take us to the scene where he's just outside minding his business. There was a purple meteor shower that struck, and it blasted him, and then he ended up getting superpowers. The black woman that he was dancing with at the bar, she never came up again. But I don't feel like it's the last that we've seen of her. So then after that, then the white lady from before that was in Portland that Naomi ran up on, she found Zumbadu at a bar, and then she started talking to him, and then she showed him like her trick where she could manipulate like the fire and everything, and then she was just like, "Oh, you and I should be a team, and we should team up." So they weren't trying to be superheroes, but they ended up, I don't want to say fighting crime. They ended up doing good deeds. They went out into the streets like they were saving people. They rescued this one lady from like a burning car. They were doing good in the world. And we also find out they weren't the only two. There were actually 29 people that they found. 29 people that were affected by that meteor shower and ended up with superpowers, and they literally called them the 29, which I find funny because 29 was the Earth that they were on. So but then that's when she was just like, "Oh, wait a minute." She was like, "You were a superhero." And then he was like, "No, but we were trying to do good." And then, he said that, but the problem is when there's the good, there's also bad. And then everybody liked what we was trying to do. And then he showed her a memory about the government. I assume it's the government. The government was basically hunting them down. And then she was like, "Oh my God, like they're trying to hunt you down." But she asked him why, but he never told her why they were being hunted. There was a scene where he met up with the white girl again, and then he was just like, "Yo, we're being hunted. We gotta get the other 29 together. We gotta figure out how to stop this." And then she was just like, "Oh, but there's a traitor amongst us, and it's you, Zimbadu, because there's this other guy named Brutus, who apparently he's gonna be the big bad, like this Brutus guy." She said that, well, he said that this Brutus guy, he hates the people with the, with the superpowers, with the metahuman abilities, and he's hunting them down for whatever reason. I feel like he himself is a victim of the purple meteorite, and he's just trying to take out the competition. But they said that he was hunting like these superpowered people, and then he went after the 29. Like, he basically like went to try to like kill the 29 and try to find the 29, but he wasn't it, but he was able to find a lot of them, but he didn't find all of them. And the white girl feels like Zambadu was the one that basically like snitched, because she said that the only way he could have found us, that Brutus could have found us, was with the tablet, the whole tablet orb thing that Naomi and him been trading back and forth throughout the course of this whole season. So she was just like, oh, you gave him the tablet that revealed all of our information, and then he was like, I would never betray the 29. Now he's talking like the way he's talking now. He was like, I would never betray the 29, and then he was like, you got it all wrong. And then she made a deal with the government to try to like take him down, and then that's when the scene cut. And the funny thing is, that's when Naomi, she was just like, oh my God, like, she set you up, and then she locked you up, and then she turned her back on you, she betrayed you, and then she was like, this whole time I thought you were my enemy, and she was like, you were just trying to protect me. But then she was just like, why are you trying to protect me this whole time? And I thought he was gonna be like, because I'm your daddy. But then he told her that two of the 29, which I thought was him and the black girl, he said that two of the 29 ended up having a baby, and you were that baby. He said that you're the only baby that came around as a result of the 29, and Brutus hates you because like 29 random people getting superpowers is one thing, but now a new bloodline, like a new breed of superhero, he was like, nah, we putting a stop to that shit. So that's why he was searching for Naomi. He was trying to kill Naomi because he was afraid of what she could grow into, being a natural birth superpowered baby. But again, he never explained why Brutus had a problem with these superpowered people, what Brutus's angle was, and he never explained how they got off of their planet and got onto Earth. He did say their planet was dying. He mentioned that a few times. He constantly talked about their planet being destroyed because they didn't take care of it, but he never explained how they got to Earth. And then, he told her, and then this is where he burst my bubble, because she asked him, she was just like, oh, she was like, did you know my parents then? If I'm a baby as a result of two of the 29, he was like, yeah, your parents were the only ones that believed I was innocent when everything went down. And he said, I promised your parents that I would protect you if anything happened. And I'm just like, so what happened to her parents? Did they die? Like, is this a Baltimore situation where Brutus is he who must not be named, and he killed Naomi's parents, and then now Zambadu was, like he's Sirius Black, like they gave us so much and explained nothing at the same time. So it's like, I really want to know what's happening now. Like, what happened to the 29? Like, is he the only surviving member of the 29? Like, who are her parents? It's like, is he really her? I'm still holding on to that. Like, is he really her dad and he just don't want to say nothing? But he told her, he said that he was just a friend. He said, I was just a friend of your parents, and I promised that I would help, I would protect you. And then that's when she noticed that, he saved her like throughout the course of her life. He looked in on her. He watched out for her. And then she was just like, oh, this whole time I thought you were a used car salesman. He was like, I'm not a used car salesman. And I thought he was going to be like, I'm your daddy. But then, the soldiers ended up catching up to them, and then he had told Naomi to go. He was like, he was like, run for it. They captured him and brought him back to the scientist. The scientist was going to use him to try to open a portal between different worlds. I feel a Flash crossover coming on this one. And then Naomi came back. She busted through the wall. She destroyed that woman's machine, and then her and Zambadu tried to get out of Star Labs. Now, earlier, Naomi's bestie, she was trying to find Naomi, and she went to the Thanagarian guy, and then she told him, she was just like, yeah, Naomi was going to Star Labs, and I didn't hear from her. And he was like, oh my God, Dr. Bell, like she'll kill her. And then Naomi's bestie and then like the Thanagarian, they ran down to Star Labs, and then like, they helped Naomi out, they helped Zambadu out, they got everybody out of there. The Dr. Bell's machine exploded, and then after the machine exploded, like she was just like, no, and then like they all got in the car and they drove away. So then after they drove away, Zambadu, like he went home, Naomi went home, and then her best friend was like, she was like, oh, me and the Thanagarian, she was like, we bonded now, right? She was like, so I'll see you again next week, for the team. And then he was like, we will not be doing this again. But he was like, but if you need me, call me. So that's gonna be a thing, and that's gonna be a thing going forward. And I said, so that was it. And then the next day she went and talked to him, and that's when he explained the whole thing about her parents and everything. And he was just like, now that you know the truth, he was like, I gotta get you ready. And then she was like, ready for what? Because he was just like, because Brutus knows you're here. He was like, your powers works like a magnet, and now that Brutus knows you're here, he won't stop until he gets you for himself. And we still don't know why, because they were extremely vague about the entire thing. But that was it. And thank you for tuning in. So, the show is definitely a slow burn, I'm not going to lie. I am enjoying it, but it's like we're already up to episode 7 and the show's probably only getting 13 episodes. I'm at the point now where like something of significance really needs to happen. I mean, they did mention Brutus now, so we got the Brutus thing to look forward to. And because of because of like, like the stories that were dropped in this particular episode, there's still questions of who her parents are, what happened to the other members of the 29. I guess Naomi would be 30 now. She's the 30th person. Like what happened to the other episodes of 29? Who is this Brutus character? What's the relationship between like Zambadu and her parents? Is Zambadu actually her daddy? So there's a lot of new questions that arise here. But where does Superman tie in all this? Because they keep bringing up Superman unlocking her power. But I said, but we'll see. We'll definitely see what happens. Because like I said, it's not like I said, this episode explained a lot, but also explained nothing. And it just makes me eager to find out the answers to these questions and what transpires as the weeks and, new episodes come going forward. So check me out on Twitter. Check me out on Instagram. Let me know what you think of Naomi so far. I know some of you definitely had, put some comments in. I know Baby put some comments in. Impact had put some comments in. But like I said, share your thoughts on Naomi and like where you think things are going from here. If you're still watching the show, it's like, are you into it? Like I said, I'm enjoying it. It's not action-packed. It's not like mega exciting, but there is an interest there. There is an interest with these characters. And it's almost like because they're not really telling us anything, that's actually making me want to know more. So they're doing a good job in that regard. And because we're talking about parallel universe and multiverses, we can always get a crossover with The Flash and the other shows. So that was it, guys. So I got Superman and Lois on the channel. We got The Flash. The Flash is back. We're still doing The Flash. And we got Young Justice when Young Justice comes back because we're anticipating that return because Young Justice ended on a really good note, and I want to see them come back. So thanks for tuning in, and as always, so till next week for some more Naomi action, take care, keep it locked here, subscribe to my YouTube channel, hit the notification bell. Until next time, I'm out this.